Guys, welcome back to the channel where I cover missing persons, unsolved cases, crime news, and more. I have some updates about the former sheriff Marcos Lopez's racketeering case along with the co-defendants in the case. There has been lots coming out considering the trial is scheduled basically around the corner next month. First up is that the former sheriff, well, he wants his trial, to be moved from Lake County to Osceola County, where he was elected sheriff twice.
The defense attorney for suspended Osceola County Sheriff Marcos Lopez is trying to get his criminal trial moved to, of all places, the county where he was elected and first came under scrutiny. I'm News 6's Mike Valenti, and of course, we're talking about the former sheriff Marcos Lopez, who, along with others, has been charged with racketeering, accused of running an illegal gambling enterprise. We learned a little more about his defense strategy at a Zoom hearing Tuesday.
We are moving to change this venue to Osceola County, which we did already look up their trial dates there, made sure that they fell within the speedy trial as well.
Attorney Mary Ibrahim casually revealed publicly that she had filed a change of motion venue to Osceola County, where her client is even more well known than he is in Lake County.
This is way outside the norm. This is not the way it's normally done.
That's Neil McShane, a defense attorney who is not associated with the case, but says that if he were defending Lopez, he would have filed the same motion.
So from a tactical point of view, lawyers have to make tactical calls. I think it's an excellent move tactically.
See, I think I'm actually very surprised that this gentleman, this attorney, thinks it's a good move, because I think that's what his team believes as well as Marcos Lopez himself, because he thinks, well, I have great constituents, or whoever he wants to think, the citizens of Osceola County. They're going to think well of me, and they're going to give me a real chance and a fair trial. Personally, I think it's a bad move, but that's just my opinion, and of course I'm not an attorney or anything like that.
Get it back into Osceola County.
McShane notes that typically defense attorneys want to escape venues where there's a lot of pretrial publicity, seeking a court several counties away where the noise is not as loud. But here he says the primary motivation may have something to do with the makeup of the jury pool.
Anything to get out of Lake County, to be honest with you. The fact that Lake County was picked is very normal for a prosecutor, because it's a more conservative county and more likely to get a conviction.
We've requested the motion for the change of venue, but we have not yet received it. But McShane says it will probably lean on the fact that Lopez's indictment mentions Osceola County many times.
From a constitutional point of view, you are entitled to be tried in the county where the crime took place.
So typically we would see the prosecutors make this motion, not the defendant.
Matter of fact, in my view, the reverse of what you normally see. The prosecutor in this case may just argue, Judge, you can't get a fair trial in Osceola County because he's the sheriff and because of all the pre-trial publicity.
The judge in this case will hold a hearing on the change of venue motion next week, October 14th. I'm Mike Valenti, News 6.
Yeah, I find this very interesting as far as a move on Lopez's part, because again, I don't think it's a good move, but obviously it's, like I said, his defense team and this other attorney who's not affiliated with the case, he thinks it is as well. My thinking is, again, that Osceola County is, I think that they're feeling scorned. They're feeling like they were robbed, they were taken advantage of, mostly lied to and cheated by this former sheriff, because he not only was a sheriff deputy, okay, he's a police officer, but he held the highest position in the sheriff's office. He was the sheriff of Osceola County, of the county. So if he can't follow the law, who's to say anyone should trust him? And, as far as his word or anything, as far as that's concerned. So I think this is a very interesting move for his legal team. And I'm very interested to see what happens when they do have that hearing at some point this week. And see what the judge decides. I don't know if they'll make a decision on it immediately or if it'll be one the judge has to kind of sit on and think about. But so that's the one big thing that is going on in this large case. And also we have two other co-defendants. Now, we talked about how Carol Coate, she took a plea deal last week, and she is going to be testifying for the prosecution. And remember how I said, I'm pretty sure if one, if not both, of the other two co-defendants next to her there, Sharon and Sheldon, are probably going to also plead out. And I was correct. Both Sharon and Sheldon, they both took pleas today. They both changed their pleas. Sheldon, he pled no contest, and Sharon pled guilty today in trials. Both of them took a plea today. Sheldon Weatherholt pleading no contest to the charges of racketeering and conspiracy to commit racketeering. And remember, he was the one who had his name on all the documents. He was the one who supposedly was the holder of all the, the liens and that sort of stuff, and the utilities for all the illegal gambling operations. And then you have Sharon Frederick. She pled guilty today on the charges of racketeering and conspiracy to commit racketeering. She pled right after Sheldon Weatherholt entered his plea. And then, like I said, Coate did hers last week on October 6th. I don't know if either one of them is going to be testifying against Lopez, but I would believe that is probably going to happen. Again, I think they're not listing it here. When I looked up all the information as of yet, I'm going to look for the documents on it. Obviously, WKMG and the other local large news affiliates here, they don't have all these documents yet, so they're taking a little bit of time to get released. I'm waiting for them to do their FOIAs, and then I'm kind of piggybacking on them since they have more clout and that sort of stuff. But again, we have the three in the middle right here underneath his picture there. They all took plea deals. And so I don't know what's going to happen with his estranged wife there, Robin. I wouldn't be surprised if she also takes a plea deal. And then we all know that Kate, well, she's gone with the wind, as they say. So, yeah, it's kind of all hinging on the former sheriff at this point. And I think his goose is cooked. And I'm very, very interested to see what happens with this motion to move the trial to Osceola County. I do see where it's totally possible to happen. If it was me, though, in his shoes, which it wouldn't be because I wouldn't do that, but I wouldn't want to be having my trial in the county that I served as sheriff, because I feel like they're all going to feel like, they think, he took advantage of them and all that sort of stuff. I mean, he was just, basically, he's a liar and he's a cheat. And he did all these illegal things, and then he goes out and, how he was always out there going, if you commit the crime, we're going to take you into custody, we're going to put you in our jail. So, he wasn't walking the walk. He could talk the talk, but he couldn't walk the walk, it seemed, as far as being a criminal. So we shall see. Obviously there'll be another update this week once we see what happens with this hearing for change of venue. But let me know what you guys think that are the locals, and if you're following this one. I know quite a few of you guys are following this case, so let me know in the comments. But that's all I've got for this one today. With that said, I hope you have a great rest of the day, and most of all, stay safe.